How's it going, everybody? It's Stas here. So the market has been a complete SHIT storm today. You guys know what that means. And we have about 10 minutes left in the session, and the S&P 500 is down 0.8%. The Dow's down 0.9%. The NASDAQ 100's down 1%. And the Russell is getting destroyed yet again, down about 1.3%, with the VIX up a whopping 11%. So today, we're going to break down some charts, my thoughts on the markets, stocks I'm looking at right now. So sit back, relax, take a sip of your coffee, go down below, grab your $50 from M1 Finance. Limited time, guys, that runs out here in September. Grab it up and check out my Patreon if you want all my real-time buys, sells, call outs, a morning update video, and more access to me throughout the day. That's on Patreon, linked right down below. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So as of now, like I said, we have about 10 minutes left in the session, and the S&P and the markets, believe it or not, even though it's crazy right now, they've recovered quite a bit. You guys can see the S&P when it comes to SPY, which tracks the S&P. It bounced on the 180 SMA here on the 4-hour chart, which if we look over the past couple of months, this has held over the past couple of months, right around the 180 SMA on this 4-hour chart. And I think it's too early to tell whether or not this is a recovery rally, meaning it's going to go right back to all-time highs, whether or not it's a bull trap. We have to give it a couple more days. Probably by the end of this week, we'll know for sure what exactly is happening. And as of now, it very well could be a bull trap. Look, we bounced off that 180, and now we're fiddling right around that 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart. And if I pop up the 5-day, 5-minute, you guys can see a good sign here is we did break out of the low from yesterday, that low being at about 443 flat. Now we're at 443.60. But we're still under that 180 SMA on the 5-day, 5-minute, which has been resistance all day today. And we're still roughly under the low point from earlier today at about 443.50 to 444. So even though we've seen this relief rally, which pretty much is what it is at this point, we're not out of the woods yet. You know, we're not out of the woods until, in my opinion, we break above 445. So I'm going to put my alert right there on SPY. That would put it right above that 180 SMA on this 5-day, 5-minute chart. So I'm going to be looking at that all throughout today, which we only have 8 minutes left after market today, and of course for the rest of this week. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments on that. Do you think this is a bull trap? Is it a legitimate rally? I'd love to know. And we have, a lot of volatility right now with the Delta increase in cases. We have the retail sales data out of China not looking so great. We had some companies report earnings today, which maybe are underwhelming, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. And let's talk about QQQ first before we do get into those other companies. And what do you know? QQQ, which tracks the NASDAQ 100, is struggling yet again right around 369. This has been the story over the past couple of weeks. I feel like I'm living in Groundhog's Day, covering the QQQ every day, because every day it's gotten rejected at 369. Every time we test it, we fail breaking out. So I have two alerts right now. One's at 369.50, and the other one's at 370. And I want to just get alerted whenever we break out of there, because at that point, I truly believe whenever it comes next week, a month from now, who the heck knows, I believe we will see a leg up out of there, but we just have to break out first. And with today's sell-off, we're down 1%. We're trading back under the moving averages on the 20-day 1-hour chart, but we are holding the uptrend. So, I mean, it's been the same story here. We've been holding an uptrend, but we've been failing at 369, so we just need to pick direction. That is all I'm going to say when it comes to QQQ, and it's pretty much been the same thing I've been saying when it comes to to QQQ. So let me know your thoughts down below, and if you all are finding value in this video and you appreciate the content, make sure to smash the like button. It really helps me out, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see further content like this. I would greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, let's talk about some of these stocks that reported earnings today and a couple of other ones that I'm keeping my eyes on here over the next couple of trading days. So number one, we have Walmart, ticker symbol WMT. This reported earnings this morning. EPS came in at $1.78 versus $1.56 estimated, with revenue coming in at $141 billion versus $136.88 billion estimated. So a nice double beat on Walmart for Walmart. And they see full year 2022 U.S. comparable sales up about 5-6%, not too shabby. And if I pull up the live news tab, you guys can see their let's see here, their guidance. They see Q3 EPS of $1.30 to $1.40 versus $1.31 estimate. So that's nice. That's above the estimate there for guidance EPS Q3. And for full year 2022, they see EPS of $6.20 versus $6.35 versus the $6.02 estimate. So that's above the estimate for guidance full year 2022 EPS. Not too shabby. So when it comes down to Walmart's earnings, they weren't that bad. Honestly, I'd say they were pretty good. But Home Depot, which we'll talk about in a second here, their earnings weren't as great, and we'll talk about that in a second, like I said. And for Walmart's technicals, it's still looking pretty bullish in my eyes. We're trading above the moving averages on the 4-hour chart. In fact, we pulled back earlier today, pre-market. We tested that 50 SMA and we bounced off of it. And now we're looking to test 154, which is the next main resistance that we're seeing here on the 4-hour chart. And if we pull back on the 3-year chart, this, in my opinion, is poised for an overall breakout. Whether it happens next week, 5 months from now, 2 months from now, I don't know, but I'm noticing an ascending triangle on Walmart here on the 3-year chart. Look, we've been making higher lows over the past couple of years, ever since 2018, December 2018, and we've been failing at 153, and that is exactly where we are right now. So I believe if we break 153, we're most likely going to see a leg up, whether it's to the high 150s, 160, 165, who the heck knows. All I know is the ascending triangle will play out at that point, and we could see more upside. So that could be a tradable stock there, no doubt about it. Home Depot, it's down 4% today. We're also noticing on the 3-year chart an ascending triangle on Home Depot. Higher lows have been made ever since the beginning of 2020, and we've been struggling at about 340, 345. So ultimately, when this happens, who the heck knows? But if it happens, or rather if it tests 345, breaks out of there, maybe the ascending triangle plays out and we get that next leg up to another all-time high, whether it's 350, 355, 360, I don't know. But now with today's pullback, we're actually seeing a drop further from 345. We're now at 320. The stock's down 4%, and the market's about to close here in a minute. So it should close down about 4%, down about 14, 15 bucks here. So I'm looking at the 4-hour chart on Home Depot right around this 180 SMA. I want to see if we see buyer step in there. And you guys can see we are forming a green candle here at close, which is a pretty decent sign. But it's too early to tell because this could easily dump tomorrow even further. And if it does, if we fail holding that 180 SMA, this could go 315, low 300s. That's definitely possible. So we'll see what happens. And I almost forgot their earnings. I almost forgot to mention what they reported. They did EPS today. Well, not today. They reported it today for the prior quarter. $4.53 versus $4.43 estimated, and revenue came in at $41.1 billion versus $40.73 billion estimated. So another double beat for Home Depot, just like Walmart, but it wasn't as great as maybe prior quarters, because Q2 customer transactions were down 5.8% year over year. Even though we saw the same store sales up 3.4%. So for my understanding, and there goes the market, my reasoning behind this is, look, people aren't cooped up in their house anymore. They're not spending as much, I guess you could say, at Home Depot on home projects, DIY projects, whatever you want to call it. So that is why you could argue their customer transactions are down 5.8% year over year. I'm not sure what else could be causing that other than what I just mentioned. So we'll see. Maybe if we go into another lockdown over the winter, fall, whatever, maybe they do well again. We'll see. But now we're seeing the sell-off, and this could be dragging down the overall stock market. Maybe not just Home Depot, but the sentiment around these retail stocks, the retail sales out of China, maybe seeping into the U.S., and of course the Delta variant, which, I mean, you're getting bombarded with that stuff every day. I'm not going to be talking about it here because, again, you're getting bombarded with that stuff every single day. And on top of that, we have the craziness in Afghanistan. I mean, there's just so much, excuse me, guys, going on right now. And again, we could talk about this stuff all freaking day. So the third stock that I'm personally looking at here is Square, ticker symbol SQ, down another 1% on the day, down $2.52. And I've been telling you guys, look, that 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart, which has been support in the past, I think this dip will be bought up. And now we're inching closer and closer to it, whether we bounce at 250, 255, heck, even here where we are now, 260, I believe buyers will step in. And could I be wrong? Absolutely. I've been wrong in the past, and I'm not ashamed to admit my downfalls, my failures, but I'm willing to, bet money on this. Do I own Square yet? No, I don't. I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. I don't own it as a trade yet, but I'm going to be watching it heavily tomorrow. It's for sure going to be at the top of my watch list because, look, it's down from 290 to 255, 260. That is a 12% correction. Now it's in correction territory. You guys should know at this point. Maybe you don't. But whenever a stock falls 10%, 10 to 20%, that is correction territory. From 20+%, if it drops, let's say 20% from the peak, that is considered a bear market. So now we're in correction territory, and plain and simple, I'm looking to see if buyers step in at about 255, 260. So we're watching Square very closely. EA is another one which, quite honestly, guys, I feel like this stock has gone nowhere in months. And I mean, it hasn't. If you look at the chart, it hasn't gone anywhere in months. And it's like watching paint dry. But I feel like soon, I'm not sure when, but soon, the move is coming. Because on the 3-year chart, we're noticing an ascending triangle, clear resistance at 145, 150, but we've been uptrending into that resistance, getting deeper and deeper into the triangle ever since March 2020. Higher low was hit at 87, followed by 110, followed by 127, and now at about 135. We bounced above that 50 SMA here on the 3-year chart. Now we're at 141. So I feel like whether it's a couple weeks, couple months from now, who the heck knows, I think EA is going to rip out of this triangle, and it's going to need something. It needs some fuel to get it out of here, get it out of that resistance, whether it's an earnings report, which most likely is what's going to be, it's going to take to get the stock moving, a video game release, which I know there's a bunch of games coming out all the time. They just need some catalyst that's going to get them out of here, out of that resistance, whether it's guidance, who the heck knows. But we need to break out. So I'm going to set an alert at $142, which is a little bit above where it is right now. I'm going to be watching it from there up to the low 150s. I want to see what it does because, again, it's gotten rejected countless of times over the past couple of months. It's got to break out of there. And another one that I'm personally looking at right now is Colgate-Palmolive. Not the sexiest stocks out there, sexiest of stocks, let's be honest. I mean, It's not. It's freaking Colgate-Palmolive. They make toothpaste and mouthwash and other products as well. But the pattern looks pretty decent. If I pull up the 3-year chart, you notice an overall wedge here. Lower highs, higher lows are being made. And on the 4-hour chart, you're noticing that even more. And what we're noticing here is kind of a J-hook pattern. I want to see if we end up filling the gap up towards 85. That is where I think it could ultimately get to. And we're noticing the higher low being held at about 78. Now with today's move and yesterday's move, today it went up 0.3%. Nothing too crazy, but green nonetheless. It's moving above that 50 moving average. So I want to see it take out the 180 moving average as well at about 81.50. So I'm going to put my alert right there. And if it does that, it succeeds in doing so, boom, we might be going 84, 85, which could give it about 4% upside towards the top of that resistance, towards the top of that wedge, which again is at 84, 85. So I like Colgate-Palmolive here. Moderna bounced up like crazy today. Whether or not this is a bull trap, it's yet to be determined, but it went up $28, up 7.4% after being pretty oversold. And we covered this recently. I mean, the stock went from $4.98 down to $3.50 in a couple of days. That's a 30% drop. So this very well could be a relief rally, a bull trap. But I'm going to be watching the 50 SMA here. Notice how it closed right under there on the 4-hour chart. And it closed, let me pull up the 20-day. It closed right under last week's double top resistance at 400 to about 405. So if we fail breaking 405, guys, we dump down. It's going to be a bull trap. That will be a sign that it's a bull trap, especially if we take the lows out from today and yesterday at about 355, 357, which could also be a double bottom. Look, that's a double bottom, and today it broke out. So it's in this time period where we have to give it another day of trading, because if we fail at 405 again, we could be dumping down. But if we break out a 405, that double bottom breakout will continue. So you see what I mean? We have to give it some time. So Moderna's not too shabby here. We're going to be watching it. And the last one for today is none other than J&J. And yes, that rhymed. That was not on purpose, but hey, what can I say, guys? I can rhyme sometimes. You know, what the heck? But J&J up $1.60 today. Up almost 1%. This one, I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but we called out a couple of weeks ago. Screw it. I'm going to toot my own horn. We called it out in the low 160s. We talked about the ascending triangle, and it's just been going crazy ever since. I mean, we broke 172, which was that high from, January, also middle of May, July as well, early August too, a little bit. And now we're completely breaking out. Now, will I rush into J&J, load the boat on it here? No. I mean, it just hit all-time highs. It is breaking out, but it's a bit overbought at the same time. So I want to wait for a pullback within this breakout, and maybe we could enter it there, whether it be towards that 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart at about 174, maybe low 170s, maybe mid 170s, 175. I'm going to be looking at a potential entry point on this dip 100%. So, yeah, guys, that's it for today. Walmart, Home Depot, Square, EA, CL, Moderna, and J&J. Those are a bunch of stocks that I'm looking at right now, and it doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at my watch list and see it was a red day overall. It was not a good day whatsoever. I mean, only 4 or 5 stocks on my watch list were green today. It was one of those days. So if you all found value, hit the like button, subscribe, drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts as always. And check out my Patreon. If you guys want all my real-time buys, sells, call-outs, a morning update video every trading day, and more access to me throughout the trading day, all of that's on Patreon, link down below. Or you guys can go to StockSurfest.com/Patreon. That's StockSurfest.com/Patreon. Make sure to also grab your $50 from M1 Finance. 2 stocks from Webull up to $1,600. Those are linked right down below, free of charge, literally free money. Go take advantage of that. And that's it. I'll catch you all in the next video, which, by the way, I almost forgot. I made a Michael Burry video earlier. I'll pop it up here. Check it out. You must watch that video. So I'll see you there if you didn't watch it already. Thanks again for watching. Keep crushing the market. Stay safe out there, guys. Peace out.